Salut mon pote, comment ça va? Dans ce chapitre numéro 5, nous allons parler des questions et de comment poser des questions avec le mot quel. So we are going to review how to use quel to ask questions. As you will see, this is going to be extremely convenient to ask a lot of questions. Nous allons aussi voir les nombres de 70 à 100. We didn't study this part yet. By now, I hope that from 0 to 69 is okay for you. We studied this before. Et un peu de vocabulaire. And by the way, I would like to start actually with vocabulary right now. Donc, répète après moi les mots qui sont ici. Take a look at the words that are right here. Repeat after me. L'email. L'email. Le passeport. Le passeport. La naissance. La naissance. L'adresse. L'adresse. Le lieu. Le lieu. La date, les transports, les transports. I think a lot of these words are very similar to English, so even if you don't know all of them, you can guess what they mean. So I would like you to pause the video right here and match each word with one of the picture, okay? Each drawing is matching one of the words. So really take a minute to do this. And you can start by the easy ones like email or passport. I'm sure you can guess what they mean. And with what's left, you can guess the last ones. C'est bon? On regarde. On a donc l'adresse, the address, l'email, the email, and by the way, you can combine these two words to make l'adresse email, the email address. Les transports are transportations. Le passeport avec un E ici is the passport. La date is the date. Le lieu is a place, any kind of place. Et la naissance is the birth. The birth. So you can do another combination. La date avec la naissance et le lieu avec la naissance. This combination will give you la date de naissance et le lieu de naissance. The date of birth, la date de naissance, and the place of birth, le lieu de naissance. Okay? Now we have a lot of vocabulary. We can practice a little bit. So this is une actrice très célèbre, a very famous actress, Marion Cotillard. I would like you to pause the video right here and to match this vocabulary with the informations, her informations. Okay? Vas-y. I'm counting on you to really pause the video and do it yourself. C'est bon? Eh ben, on regarde. L'adresse email, bien sûr, l'adresse email is the email address. I don't think that's her real email address, so I just made this up myself. Don't try to. Same goes for the address. I just invent these informations. Don't try to contact her, I think. Donc l'adresse ici c'est 4 rue d'Aligre à Paris. Ok, that's an address in France. La date de naissance, alright, can you read this one? C'est le 30 septembre 1975. We're going to see this one later. Et le lieu de naissance, so the place of birth, Paris, France. Be careful, don't mistake. I mean, by right, you could say that this is le lieu de naissance, because this would mean that 4 rue d'Aligre, maybe, I can imagine, would be the address of the hospital where she's born, for example. But Paris, France by itself isn't an address. This is not suitable here. Une adresse is really the street number, the street name, etc., the code postal. Ok. Très bien. One more time with Francis Ngannou. We saw this guy before in chapitre numéro 3. Okay. So you can pause the video here and match the informations. C'est bon? On regarde. On a le lieu de naissance Douala au Cameroun. Okay. L'adresse 13 rue Basse à Marseille. You should know this city because we mentioned it quickly in chapitre numéro 4, je pense. La date de naissance, obviously, 5 septembre 1986. Same, we're going to see this date later. Et l'adresse email, bien sûr. By the way, this one is called arrobase, arrobase, and this one, dot, is called point. Point. Okay. Arrobase yahoo.fr. Comme ici. Arrobase gmail.com. Ok, très bien. C'est bon. On a maintenant beaucoup de vocabulaire. We have a lot of new vocabulary. So we can keep following our story about Olivia à l'aéroport. Careful about the pronunciation of this one. The airport in French, aéroport. À l'aéroport. At the airport. On a donc Olivia qui va parler avec la police, la sécurité à l'aéroport. So for now, just focus on the dialogue. Don't try to think about anything else. Just pay attention to the dialogue. C'est parti.
Bonjour, madame.
Bonjour, monsieur.
Je vais regarder votre passeport, s'il vous plaît.
Oui, voilà.
Merci. Vous avez quel âge?
J'ai 23 ans.
Quelle est votre date de naissance?
Je suis née le 23 mai 2002.
Et quel est votre lieu de naissance?
Je suis née au Canada.
Dans quelle ville?
À Toronto.
D'accord. Et vous parlez quelle langue?
Je parle anglais, espagnol et un peu français.
D'accord. C'est bon. Merci, madame.
Excusez-moi. Pour aller à Paris, je peux prendre quel transport?
Pour aller à Paris, vous pouvez prendre le métro, le bus ou le taxi.
Merci. Bonne journée. Au revoir.
Ça va? A lot of informations, but I am sure you can recognize a lot of words that we have seen together. On va écouter encore une fois. We are going to listen to it one more time. First, you can pause the video here, take a look at these questions. Quelle est la date de naissance d'Olivia? La date de naissance d'Olivia. Olivia parle quelle langue? Elle parle quelle langue? Et trouve la ville. Donc l'aéroport, c'est où? Et la naissance, c'est où? Bon. On écoute encore une fois.
Bonjour, madame.
Bonjour, monsieur.
Je vais regarder votre passeport, s'il vous plaît.
Oui, voilà.
Merci. Vous avez quel âge?
J'ai 23 ans.
Quelle est votre date de naissance?
Je suis né le 23 mai 2002.
Et quel est votre lieu de naissance?
Je suis né au Canada,
Dans quelle ville?
à Toronto.
D'accord. Et vous parlez quelle langue?
Je parle anglais, espagnol et un peu français.
D'accord. C'est bon. Merci, madame.
Excusez-moi, pour aller à Paris, je peux prendre quel transport?
Pour aller à Paris, vous pouvez prendre le métro, le bus ou le taxi.
Merci, bonne journée, au revoir.
Ça va? Before looking at the answers, we can take a look at the transcription. Maybe this will help you to understand the last words that you didn't get yet. And if you want, you just go back in the video, listen to it one more time. C'est bon? On écoute une dernière fois. One last time.
Bonjour, madame.
Bonjour monsieur.
Je vais regarder votre passeport, s'il vous plaît.
Oui, voilà.
Merci. Vous avez quel âge?
J'ai 23 ans.
Quelle est votre date de naissance?
Je suis né le 23 mai 2002.
Et quel est votre lieu de naissance?
Je suis né au Canada,
Dans quelle ville?
à Toronto.
D'accord. Et vous parlez quelle langue?
Je parle anglais, espagnol et un peu français.
D'accord. C'est bon. Merci, madame.
Excusez-moi, pour aller à Paris, je peux prendre quel transport?
Pour aller à Paris, vous pouvez prendre le métro, le bus ou le taxi.
Merci, bonne journée, au revoir.
Très bien. So, don't be angry. I know that this one is a bit difficult. That's okay, don't worry. Very soon, you will be more comfortable with the big numbers. Okay? Donc, quelle est la date de naissance d'Olivia? Elle dit bien c'est le 23 mai 2002. She talks about it right here. Quelle est votre date de naissance? Je suis né le 23 mai 2002. Then, on demande quelle langue parlez-vous? Je parle anglais, espagnol et un peu français. A little bit of French. And obviously, I think you can understand that she is in Paris and she's born, sa naissance, la ville de naissance, c'est Toronto, right? She explains it right here. Quel est votre lieu de naissance? Je suis né au Canada. I am born in Canada. Dans quelle ville? À Toronto. Très bien. Donc, la ville de naissance d'Olivia, c'est Toronto. Très bien. Et elle est à Paris. You can see that at the end of the dialogue, she's asking the security, how can I go to Paris? What transportation can I take to go to Paris? Vous pouvez prendre le métro, le bus ou le taxi. Très bien. Because you know maybe, or maybe not, I don't know, that in Paris, the airport, just like in a lot of cities, the airport is actually outside of the city. So when you arrive in Paris airport, then you have to take like a bus or a metro or the taxi to actually go to inside the city. It's a bit like a few kilometers away. I think that's the case in a lot of big cities. C'est bon? Très bien. So there's something you have probably noticed in this dialogue. There is a word that keeps popping again and again in every question. Obviously, I think you get it. This word is quel. Vous avez quel âge? Quelle est votre date de naissance? Quel est votre lieu de naissance? Dans quelle ville? Vous parlez quelle langue? Je peux prendre quel transport? Etc. There's one thing that you can notice already. It is that even though this word have different spellings, as you can see, I'm always pronouncing it the same way. Hein? Quel. Ok? Très bien. So, quel is a very common word and super convenient question word. Okay? That's a question word, which means that whenever there's quel in a sentence, well, it is a question. You are asking a question. We always use quel with a noun, okay, to ask about a thing, like what or which thing, okay? It's going to be very obvious. Par exemple, tu as quel âge? It's like, what age do you have? You know? What age do you have? And here, âge is a noun. C'est un nom. Quel âge? Okay? So, quel is linked to âge. Tu habites dans quelle ville? So, you live in what city? In which city do you live? Here, ville, c'est un nom. Ville is a noun. So, quelle is linked to ville. Tu parles quelle langue? What languages do you speak? You speak what languages? Which languages? Okay. Again, langue is a noun. Okay. Donc, quelle is linked to langue. As you can see in all of these three examples, quelle is really always linked to a noun. Always with a noun. Okay? But at the same time, it's very strange, but quelle technically is also an adjective. Why is it important? Because then, since it's an adjective, it needs to agree with is it masculin, féminin, singulier, pluriel, etc. And because quelle is always used with a noun, then quelle, how to write quelle, will depend on the gender of the noun. You know what I mean? Let's look at an example. Here, you have masculin singulier, féminin singulier, masculin pluriel, féminin pluriel. So, male and female, okay? And this one is singulier, so singular and plural. So, here is only one thing, and here is more than one thing. These four words, can you put them in the right boxes? I want you to pause the video right here and find each of these words, which part of the tab they belong to. Which is masculin, féminin, and which is pluriel, singulier. L'âge, la ville, les transports, les langues. Je pense que c'est facile. I think that's easy. C'est bon? Obviously, l'âge, c'est masculin singulier. La ville, féminin singulier. Les transports, masculin pluriel. Les langues, féminin pluriel. What does it mean? It means that when I will use quelle to ask about one of these things, if I want to ask about what age, what city, what language, what transportation, then I will have to use a special spelling of quelle that is matching masculin, féminin, singulier, pluriel. Here are the four possible spellings of quelle. And even without saying anything, I am sure you can guess which is which. Which one is masculin, which one is féminin, which one is pluriel, which one is singulier. Again, you can take a minute to pause the video and match each version of quelle with the right box of the tab. Vas-y. C'est bon? On regarde. Obviously, alright, we have quelle, Q-U-E-L-L-E, elle. This one is the easiest one, the most neutral standard masculin singulier. Then when I'm asking about something that is féminin, I will add elle, that's the féminin. When I will ask about something pluriel, I will add s. And so if the thing is féminin and pluriel, then I have les. It should make sense. Huh? It's not too difficult. And please pay attention to the fact that the pronunciation is exactly the same. Quel, 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 quel. No difference. Okay? And so as I was saying, if I'm asking about one of these things, then I will change the spelling. Quel âge? What age? Quelle ville? What city? Quel transport? What transportations? Quelle langue? What languages? Ça va? Très bien. I'm really taking the time to try to make this as clear and precise as possible. One thing to note about the pronunciation is that even if technically that's not a liaison, something will happen when there's a vowel here that sounds a bit similar to a liaison, which is that the sound, they will merge together. Okay? For example, this one actually will be liaison. This one will really sound like quel âge. Quel âge. Again, quel âge. Repeat after me. Tu as quel âge? Tu as quel âge? Tu as quel âge? No, you sound really French. If you say tu as quel âge, sounds a bit strange. Quel ami? What friend? Quel ami? Quel ami? Again. Quel ami? Quels enfants? Oh, suddenly there's a S because enfant is pluriel, right? Children. So I will use this S right here to make the liaison z, just like we saw in the past. Donc, quels enfants? Quels enfants? That's important because if you don't do the liaison and you just pronounced quel enfant, it means what child. You're asking about only one child. But if you do the liaison and you say quels enfants, suddenly what you say is what children. So you're asking about many children. In the context, this difference can be very important. Quelles habitudes? What habits? I just put this one to remind you that we don't do liaison only with vowels, we also do it with H. Not all of them, but most words starting with H, we do the liaison. Donc ici, quelles habitudes? Quelles habitudes? Très bien. So we've seen one way to use quel. This is to use quel directly with the nom. Par exemple, il a quel âge? How old is he? Il a 17 ans. Très bien. You can see that here, quel is right before the noun you are asking about. Quel âge? Elle parle quelle langue? What languages does she speak? Elle parle italien et allemand. Again, quelle is directly before the nom. Quelle langue? But there's another way that we've seen in some examples that we didn't review. It's to use quel with the verb être and then what you're asking about. These are the two common ways to use quel. Par exemple, quel est, so what is, it's similar to this idea, you know, what is, and then you just put anything that you're asking about. Par exemple, quel est ton prénom? What is your name? Quel est ton prénom? What's your name? Quelle est ta nationalité? What is your nationality? We haven't seen these words ton, ta yet, but we will see them very soon at the beginning of Unité 2. Quelle est ta nationalité? What is your nationality? Quels sont, here very interesting, the verb être will become sont at the pluriel, right? You remember the conjugation of être? Quels sont tes films préférés? What are your favorite movies? Ok? Film préféré, favorite movie. Ça va? Très bien. So, as you can see in this example, there's a special tip I can give you, which is that whenever you ask for something, you ask for specific information about something, well, you can actually always use quel. Just like this. Why am I showing you this? Because if one day you forget the most common way to ask a question, then you can just, you just give up and you use quel instead. Because you can always use quel in the same way. For example, quel est ton nom? What is your name? Quelle est ta nationalité? What is your nationality? Quel est ton âge? What is your age? Etc. You can always use quel in this way. Now the issue is that if you are talking to someone and you use quel in this way, it sounds a bit like a robot asking question. Just imagine in English, if you meet someone, you wouldn't say, "Hi, nice to meet you. What is your nationality? What is your age? What is your name?" You wouldn't speak like this, right? You would say, "Hi, nice to meet you. How old are you? What's your name? Where you come from?" etc. So these are the most common ways to ask questions that we have seen before. Comment tu t'appelles? Tu viens d'où? Tu as quel âge? But if at any point you forget how to ask it, then you can just use like the heavy robot way, which is still grammatically correct. Quel est ton nom? Quelle est ta nationalité? Quel est ton âge? Etc. That's just for the small tip. Okay? Here's a summary of everything. So, yeah. If you want to like take notes or take a screenshot or etc., here's a summary of everything I told you about quel, and I have put this slide in the printable slide in PDF in the course as well. On peut faire tout de suite un exercice, c'est parti, bien sûr. Tu peux mettre la vidéo en pause ici et compléter les phrases avec quel. Vas-y. I'm counting on you to take your notebook and really copy down the sentences, fill in the blanks. C'est bon? On regarde. Tu as quel âge? How old are you? Tu aimes quelle musique? What musics do you like? Vous avez quel âge? How old are you? But formal. Tu préfères quel sport? What sport do you prefer? Elle habite dans quelle ville? She lives in what city? Ils habitent dans quel pays? What country do they live in? Vous parlez quelle langue? What languages do you speak? Tu préfères quel film? What movie do you prefer? Quel est ton numéro de téléphone? What is your phone number? Quelle est votre nationalité? What is your nationality? Très bien. Ça va? Ok. You can take a moment to think about the fact that, okay, here sport, okay, c'est masculin, pluriel, so I put quel, S. Langue, c'est féminin, pluriel, so I put L, L, E, S, etc., etc. Très bien. Autre exercice, I would like you to create sentences just like in the example. Par exemple, vous, avoir, âge. So you have deux sujets, the verb, and the noun. And I want you to create a question with quel. Vous avez quel âge? Ok? Don't forget to conjugate the verb. Vas-y. Tu peux mettre en pause ici et écrire les phrases sur ton cahier. C'est bon? On regarde. Tu as quel âge? How old are you? Tu aimes quelle musique? What musics do you like? Tu préfères quel film? What movies do you prefer? Tu as quelle nationalité? What nationality do you have? Tu aimes quel sport? What sport do you love? Tu préfères quelle ville? What city do you prefer? Très bien, c'est bon. There will be more exercises about quel in the homeworks. Ok? C'est bon. So, now, Olivia, elle est arrivée à l'aéroport. She's in Paris airport. Ok. But I think she has a little bit of time before she takes the train to go to the city center. So,
I should buy a SIM card before I go to the city center.
makes sense, right?
Bonjour madame. Je voudrais une carte SIM s'il vous plaît.
Ça va? She's asking for une carte SIM, a SIM card, right? Très bien. So she buys the SIM card. C'est quoi ça? What's this number right here? 19. Très bien. 19. This one right here? 30. 30 jours. Ok. Donc, Olivia, elle a une carte SIM. Looks like this, ok. Une carte SIM SFR. SFR is one of the most famous phone company for SIM cards in France. You have like 4 or 5 super famous, and you know, SFR is one of the most famous ones. Okay. But there's an issue. The phone number of the SIM card is too difficult for her to read.
Excusez-moi. Quel est le numéro de téléphone s'il vous plaît?
Donc, c'est parti. Now it's time to learn numbers from 70 to 100. Let's recap what we saw until now. You should know this already. Let's just recap pronunciation. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Très bien. Then, from 10 to 16, these are the ones that still have their own individual names. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Even though they have their own individual names, you can still see the root of their unit counterpart. 1, 11, 2, 12, 3, 13, 4, 14, 5, 15, 6, 16. Okay? And then from 7 onward, changes a bit. We have 17, 18, 19. 17, 18, 19. Okay? This is recap. I go fast because we saw this before. If you're not okay with this, go back to Unité 0. Then we have the multiples of 10. 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Okay? And like I said before, to make combination, you just put the 10, a dash, and a number. Donc on a, par exemple, 23, 34, 45, 57 et 68. Okay? And for the 21, 31, 41, etc., you remember, we just have to put et. Donc on a 21, 31, 41, 51, 61. All right. All of this we saw before. So here's the recap of everything. You should be comfortable with all of these numbers, right? We saw this before. Now, the question is, what after 69? You may have heard before things like, oh, the French numbers are so difficult, they make no sense. And when you hear this, it's like nowadays, this thing about French numbers has been so exaggerated that sometimes you almost feel like these are just random without any kind of logic, made to be difficult. I'm about to show you that it's actually extremely logical and extremely easy, and there's nothing difficult. Because really, so many people joke around saying that French number makes no sense, that I think nowadays it tends to get more difficult than it has to be, honestly. And usually what people make fun of is the part after 69, from 70 to 100. So let's review this. Basically, what a lot of people have a trouble to understand is that there is no 70 in French. And I think that's one of the reasons why so many people struggle with the counting system in French, is that they don't realize, or more it's like they are not explained properly, that in English you do 40, 50, 60, 70. In French, there's no 70. It doesn't exist. Don't try to translate 70. What do I mean? If you count, you have 65, 66, 67, 68. You just keep going. 69, and then you just keep going. 70, 60, remember, et 11, 72, 73. That's it. There's nothing like I mean, it's super logical actually. when you think about it, it's just like it's not random or anything, you know. It's just like if in English you were to say 68, 69, 6010, 6011, 6012. I mean, okay, it's a bit strange at first because a lot of languages like English and Spanish, for example, they don't do this. But it's still logical, I think, in a way. It's not random, you know? So here you go for the 70s. You can repeat after me. 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 76, 77, 78, 79. Okay. Now about 80, okay, this one, I admit, is a bit strange, but that's the only thing that is a bit weird, honestly. The logic is that 80 equals 4 times 20, right? 4 fois 20. Donc ça c'est 4, 20. So we call it 80. 420. 80. That's our way to call 80. Okay? I mean, it's a bit strange, but it's not so difficult, I think. Huh? Okay? 80. So then you just have the same logic than before. You can repeat after me. 80, 81. Usually we pronounce this tr like this. 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89. And then the logic is the same for 90, the same than for 70. There is no 90 in French. You just keep counting after 80. Okay? 88, 89. So this one will be 80, 10, right? 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99. And that's it. You have everything up to 99, 99. Okay? Pay attention to one exception. Just for 80 and 90, we don't put the E here. You don't say 91, you say 91. Just like here, you say 81, you don't say 81. Okay? Très bien. And there should be dash here, but I forgot to put them. Sorry. C'est bon? Okay. So, is it... I mean, okay, I'm exaggerating a bit, but is it really so difficult? I mean, obviously there's a bit of a trick to get, to remember it, but like I told you, when you listen to some people nowadays, even French people, it's like we tend to exaggerate how difficult it is. And really we tend to make it way more difficult than it has to be. And as you've seen, it's actually quite logical. Just remember that after 60 and 80, we keep on counting, okay? And that's it. Très bien. Alors, now a bit of practice. Ça c'est quoi? Every time I show you a number, you can pause the video, think about it, and say it out loud before I say it, okay? I let you do the pause yourself. Ça, 70, 50, 80, 40, 20, 90, 60, 30. Très bien. Encore. This one is the map of the province that has Paris, the province of Paris. And every sub-province in France first has a name and then a number. Okay. If I tell you Essonne, 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 what's the number of Essonne? 91. Très bien. Yveline, 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 78, 78. Paris, Paris, it's small but it's here. Paris, 75, 75. Val d'Oise. Val d'Oise. 95. 95. Seine-et-Marne. Seine-et-Marne. 77. Très bien. Ici, on a quoi? Été 85. Ici, on a quoi? Mai 68. These are words that you know. Hein? Été is the summer. May is the month of May. Ça, c'est quoi? 99. Right? 99. Très bien. Ici, on a quoi? 74. Ok. Ici, 98. 98. Ici. 95. 95. Last one, I promise. Okay, if I tell you lot. 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 46. Ouais, 46. Aude. 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 11. Gers. Gers. 32. 32. Lozère. 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 48. Hérault. 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 34. Pyrénées-Orientales. Pyrénées-Orientales. 66. 66. Hautes-Pyrénées. Hautes-Pyrénées. 65. That's actually where I live right now, so if you ever pass by, you can come and say hi, okay? The weather is very, very hot here nowadays. You cannot see, but this is the peak southwest of France. Right here is Spain. Here, on the map. Ok? Très bien. Et donc maintenant, now you can read the phone number of Olivia, right? So, here we go. I'm counting on you. This one easy. 06. Okay? You know that in France, we always read phone numbers by 2 digits. Okay? So the first one is 06, and then we read the whole number. 70. 99. 87. 74. Again, try to practice reading it faster. 06, 70, 99, 87, 74. Ok, très bien. There will be more practice in the homework as well. Je pense que c'est bon pour aujourd'hui. Ok, Olivia, elle est très contente. She's very happy. Me too. Et elle peut envoyer un message à Sissa. You remember last time? Sissa, she lives in Lille and she's going to help Olivia. Ok? Coucou Sissa, c'est Olivia. J'ai un numéro français. I have a French number. Salut Olivia. Super. Tu arrives à Paris à quelle heure? At what time? You can recognize here. Quelle heure is what time? What time do you arrive in Paris? J'arrive à Paris à 10 heures. Okay? And this will be the story of Unité 2. Okay? Because we have finished almost this Unité 1. The next chapter will be a recap of what we saw in the last chapters, a bit more vocabulary and a lot of practice exercises. And then the homeworks of next chapter will be the final exam of Unité 1. So you can be very proud to reach this point. Like I was mentioning, in the place I live in France, in the south of France, even though we are in February when I recorded this, the weather became really hot recently. So it's like spring is already here. So I wanted to give you this song as a recommendation. It's a very, very beautiful song that talks a bit about spring, le printemps. C'est joli pour se parler d'amour, c'est vrai. So that's I will put the link of I will put the video below this one in the course. Barbara, she is one of the most famous French singers. It's very old school. I think this song is from 1962. And this one is one of her most famous songs. It's really beautiful. So I really recommend you that you listen to it, especially with subtitles, so you can practice listening and understanding a few words. Okay? Très bien. Homeworks, nothing fancy. Just go through the PDF file and do the exercises. No RFI, no TV5 Monde this time. Ok? Très bien. Félicitations d'être arrivé jusqu'ici. Ciao mon pote, bisous et à bientôt.